Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Do you ever feel like you're constantly scrolling, but nothing really satisfies you? You finish one video, and immediately look for the next. You check your phone for notifications, even when you know there aren't any. You struggle to focus on important tasks, whether it's work, studying, or even just reading a book. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. And the culprit might be a tiny chemical in your brain called dopamine. Now, dopamine gets a bad rap sometimes, often called the pleasure molecule, but it's much more than that. It's the molecule of motivation. It's what drives you to seek out rewards, to learn new things, and to achieve your goals. When you eat a delicious meal, listen to your favorite song, or get a notification on social media, your brain releases a little bit of dopamine. This feels good, so your brain learns to repeat that behavior. It's a fundamental system that has helped humans survive and thrive for thousands of years. But here's the problem: our modern world is a dopamine minefield. Social media feeds, video games, sugary snacks, endless online shopping, these are all supernormal stimuli. They redesigned to give you a much bigger and more frequent dopamine hit than anything our ancestors ever experienced. Think of it like this: your brain's dopamine system was designed for a world where a sweet piece of fruit was a rare and exciting treat. Now, we have access to candy bars and sodas that deliver a concentrated blast of sugar anytime we want. When your brain is constantly bombarded with these high dopamine activities, it starts to adapt. It becomes desensitized. Your dopamine receptors downregulate, meaning you need more and more stimulation to feel the same level of pleasure or satisfaction. That's why the first funny clip makes you laugh out loud, but by the 10th, you're numb. Your brain's reward system has already burned out, and the thrill is gone. Your baseline level of dopamine drops, and suddenly, normal, everyday activities feel boring and unrewarding. Things that require sustained effort, like working on a project or learning a new skill, just can't compete with the instant gratification of your phone. You end up in a cycle, feeling bored and unmotivated, seeking a quick dopamine hit to feel better, which only makes the problem worse in the long run. This is where the idea of a dopamine detox or dopamine fasting comes in. Now, I want to be clear about the science here. You can't literally detox from dopamine. It's an essential neurotransmitter that your body produces naturally. The term, popularized by psychiatrist Dr. Cameron Seppa, is really about reducing your exposure to those artificial, high dopamine stimuli to let your brain's reward pathways reset. It's not about avoiding all pleasure, it's about consciously choosing to abstain from specific compulsive behaviors that are hijacking your motivation system. It's like giving your brain a much-needed break from the constant noise and overstimulation. So, how do you actually do it? It's about being intentional. The first step is to identify your problem behaviors. What are the things you do compulsively, almost without thinking? For many of us, it's mindlessly scrolling social media, binge-watching shows, or playing video games for hours. For others, it might be emotional eating, online shopping, or constantly checking the news. Be honest with yourself. What are your go-to distractions when you're feeling bored, stressed, or anxious? Once you've identified these activities, you schedule time to abstain from them. You don't have to go cold turkey for a week. Dr. Seppa suggests starting small. For example, you could try fasting from these behaviors for 1 to 4 hours at the end of the day. Or maybe you dedicate one day of the weekend, say a Sunday, to be your fast day. The goal is to create a period where your brain isn't getting those easy, artificial rewards. So, what do you do during this time? This is the crucial part. You replace the high dopamine activities with low dopamine ones. These are activities that are naturally rewarding but don't provide that instant, intense rush. Think of things like going for a walk in nature, meditating, journaling, tidying up your space, preparing a healthy meal, reading a physical book, or simply sitting with your thoughts. At first, this will feel incredibly boring. Your brain will scream for its usual fix. You'll feel that itch to grab your phone. This is normal. This is the withdrawal. The key is to push through that initial discomfort. When you allow yourself to be bored, something amazing happens. Your brain's reward system starts to recalibrate. Your dopamine receptors begin to upregulate, becoming more sensitive again. After your fasting period, you'll find that simple things bring you more joy. That walk in the park feels more refreshing, a conversation with a friend feels more engaging. And most importantly, you'll find it easier to focus on difficult, meaningful tasks. The motivation to work on that long-term project returns because the reward of making progress can finally compete with the lure of instant gratification. Let's walk through a practical example. Let's say you decide to do a dopamine fast every Sunday. On Saturday night, you put your phone, tablet, and laptop in a drawer. You turn off the TV. When you wake up on Sunday, you resist the urge to immediately check notifications. Instead, you make a cup of tea and just sit by the window for a few minutes. Maybe you write down your thoughts in a journal. Then you go for a long walk without headphones, just paying attention to the sounds and sights around you. You spend the afternoon reading a novel or working on a hobby like painting or playing an instrument. Yes, the first few hours might be tough. You'll feel restless, but by the afternoon, you might notice a sense of calm and clarity you haven't felt in a while. And when Monday comes, and you need to sit down and focus on work, you'll find that your mind is less scattered. You're not fighting a constant urge to check your phone. You've retrained your brain to find satisfaction in delayed gratification and focused effort. The real power of a dopamine detox isn't just the fasting period itself, it's what you learn from it. It forces you to become aware of your impulses and to build the mental muscle to resist them. You learn to tolerate boredom and to find value in quieter, more mindful activities. You're not just resetting your brain chemistry. You're fundamentally changing your relationship with technology and instant gratification. You're taking back control of your attention and, by extension, your life. This isn't a one-time fix, it's a practice. Just like physical exercise, you need to do it regularly to maintain the benefits. Maybe you make tech-free Tuesdays a regular thing, or you commit to an hour of no screens before bed every night. The key is to find a sustainable rhythm that works for you. By intentionally starving your brain of cheap dopamine, you make room for genuine satisfaction, deeper focus, and a more motivated, present life. You teach your brain that the best rewards are the ones you have to work for. Thanks so much for watching. If you have ever tried a dopamine detox, or if you have any tips on how to manage digital distractions, please share them in the comments below. I'd love to hear your experiences. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content on building a better brain and a better life. See you in the next one.